Hey guys, Sleepy Reader here. I picked up 10 comics today at my comic book shop, and I've already read 7 of them. It's a minor miracle, partially because they let us have a half day at work. That's why I was able to do that. I only had 2 DC books in my regular pull. Not Birds of Prey, actually. What am I doing? Wonder Woman and Batwoman. And so I decided to make it add another female hero book, Birds of Prey. Just thought I'd check that out again. I haven't read those 3, but I've read the other 7 in my stack with mixed results. So first off, it was kind of exciting to actually get Frankenstein Alive after many rumors about when this book would actually be coming out. I think it's 5 months since issue 1 came out, and this is issue 2. And the art is not a letdown. So he definitely, during that period, I don't know how it takes, even though this is brilliant, I don't know how it takes 5 months, but he may have had other projects. Bernie Wrightson, I'm talking about, the artist on this. But totally love the art. It's beautiful, black and white, or maybe black and white and silver. Some of these pages are just to die for. I almost wish it was like in a double-sized comic book or something. So it's almost like another prologue to the actual story starting. There's a little bit of a story starting here, but not a whole lot yet. So it's still hard to tell if it's going to be a killer story. It's well written. It's nice to read. It'll probably turn out quite well. If they keep going long enough, if it takes them 5 months for every issue. My biggest problem, I paid $4 for this, and it had 16 pages of story. And then it had this teaser for Frankenstein Alive issue 3. I guess you could count that as another page of story. Then it had 17 pages of art, if not story. Then it just has a few chapters of the original Frankenstein novel, which you could get pretty much free anywhere. So is it worth $4 for 16 pages of Bernie Wrightson art? Yeah, but I was hoping for more. I rarely will pay $4 for a comic book, but I will for art on this level. But I wish they'd given us at least 20 pages, especially after the long wait and everything. But the art is so beautiful, I kind of at times wanted to pinch and zoom, like on an iPad. Maybe someday when I feel like spending even more money on this, I could get the digital version as just an additional thing. I don't know. That's probably too much money to spend right now. But yeah, it would have been, the art is so beautiful, it would have been great to have, an extra large size comic book. So I think your choice on getting that is not for the story yet, but for the art. And also for the art, and also $3.99, but I ended up feeling like I got my money's worth of this, is this one-shot Edgar Allan Poe's The Conqueror Worm, written and drawn and colored by Richard Corben. And Richard Corben's been around since the 60s, so he can't be a young guy, but he does really good work on this one. It's a very creepy, disturbing horror story with, touches of sexuality and grotesqueness all mixed together in a way only Richard Corben could do. So if you like Richard Corben's art, I highly recommend this. There's 22 pages of actual story, then there's 3 pages of a sketchbook, and then they also give you the original poem by Edgar Allan Poe that was the starting point for this story. Richard Corben, he usually works with other writers, but he doesn't need to because the writing here is great. It's a very creepy kind of basic horror story. yeah, I'm not going to say much more about it. But I love Richard Corben's art, and this is a really good issue, and that he's still going strong, 40 years after what might have been thought of as his peak is really great. Also, great artwork is Clone #1 from Image. And this one has a great wraparound cover. I love wraparound covers. I wish people would do that more. And the artwork is reminiscent of... I don't want to show that page. The artwork is reminiscent of Jeff Darrow, I felt. Lots of detail. It's a little more mainstream looking than Jeff Darrow, but just a lot of wonderful detail. It's just art you can just sort of sink into. And it's a decent science fiction story. Nothing special, nothing surprising yet. It's called Clone, and there's lots of clones of this guy. And it has kind of the feel of almost like a standard science fiction movie so far. But well worth the art. And, I like science fiction, so it's still fun to read, if not surprising. The writer mentions in a note at the end that that this is his very first comic book. But I don't know where he comes from. I guess I should Google him. Maybe he's a TV writer or a movie writer. You kind of wonder with, this is a Skybound book, which is Robert Kirkman's label at Image, whether he's pulling in... now that he's a Hollywood guy, whether he's pulling in other Hollywood guys to write comic books, maybe that's what this is. Totally a guess on my part. So this is definitely worth a pickup if you're a fan of, if you into art, as I'm talking about, or if you're a fan of science fiction. So cool. And something that's not a #1, but it's still kind of a Marvel Now reboot of Journey into Mystery. It's now focused on Lady Sif, and it's an all new creative team, and a whole new arc and plot line and everything, of course, to go with the new character. I'm not quite sure what to say about it. I really wanted to like this. I actually, in theory, really want to like Lady Sif. She's been part of the Thor mythos going way back. And at first I didn't like the art, and some of the scenes like this kind of turned me off. But later on, I really did like the art. Maybe the artist was growing on me. He does a pretty cool dragon. And I like the way he draws Sif herself. But I think this book is a mess. It's like the person writing it, Catherine Immerman, is not a natural storyteller. She doesn't give us the information in the right order. It feels like things are just happening randomly, that Sif is making choices and doing things randomly. It's just like stuff happens. I do, by the end of the story, I can see she's building up to some kind of plot line, but I don't have much faith in her telling it very well from the evidence on this first issue. And a lot of the dialogue felt all over the place. It was quite wordy, and I don't think it handled the talk of gods or people living in Asgard very well. It was neither modern nor not modern. There was a lot of modernism thrown in, kind of random bits of humor that didn't seem to mesh with who Sif seems to be here, which is a warrior who's concerned about Asgard and its fate, I guess. So this was a weak issue. I'll probably be dropping it. Let's see. Another one I might be dropping, which might have been inevitable anyway, is Deadpool, because I'm just not a all humor all the time kind of guy. And I'm a little squeamish about all the guts flowing out of him. And there's a big guts coming out of Deadpool sequence near the end of the book. Still love the covers. Wish the interior art is good, and it's kind of, to me, it's kind of reduced by the coloring. I wish a different colorist would come on, or this colorist would lighten up. The colors on the cover are so good, and you can see every detail of the art, and it's just not that way inside. This one made me laugh a little less than the first one, and I just found myself not caring, and there's so many comics to buy. So I might get the third issue and then decide, or it might be something I'll just randomly pick up every now and then when I'm in the mood for something funny. It's almost, do you really have to be following the story? I don't think so. And this is Matt Fraction's Hawkeye, the first issue of a 2-issue story, and the first multi-issue story here. And it has a different artist, a fill-in artist, I think, for these 2 issues. What was his name? Something Padillo. Javier Pulido. And I felt like his art worked at times and didn't work at other times. It keeps the spirit of the simple artwork that the regular artist on here, Aja, does, but I don't know, just didn't click quite as much, and the story felt too wordy. Like somehow it was like Fraction was trying too hard or something. So I enjoyed it, but I wonder if the collaboration with the artist wasn't clicking as much, and so Fraction tried to make up for things a bit with his writing or something. I love the coloring, actually. I thought, and the coloring helped carry the artwork a lot. Like in this kind of scene. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely stick with Hawkeye, but a little less excited than the other 3 issues. Daredevil rocked. Very, very creepy issue. I don't want to give away too much. A very, very creepy issue. Very clever. Several twists in the plot that I didn't expect. And although it was disturbing and creepy, it maintained the idea of Daredevil as the competent together hero, and not, kind of a loser or anything like that. So I really liked it, and I left me really looking forward to the next issue. So Daredevil rocks. Yay, Mark Waid. I feel bad in my last review kind of putting down his webcomic, but just had to. But he's a master of the 20-page monthly comic book. So those of you in America, I hope, like myself, I hope you're having a great holiday. Everyone else, my Canadian and British friends, I hope you guys are enjoying a regular week. And I will have more time to watch videos in the next few days, so that's great too. Talk to y'all later.